Iconic roles typically feature unique and memorable characteristics, whether it's their personality, appearance, or behavior. In this video, we see the actors who gave up most memorable movie roles. Before Katherine Heigl was cast as Allison, Anne Hathaway was initially considered for the role. Despite its R rating and controversial subject matter, Knocked Up was both a critical and commercial success. Del Toro was in talks to play the iconic villain Khan in the 2013 Star Trek sequel, but the star walked away from negotiations after he and the production weren't able to agree on the pay. In this situation, the role was taken over by Benedict Cumberbatch. Hunnam famously pulled out of the much-hyped 50 Shades adaptation, with the part eventually going to Jamie Dornan. Scheduling conflicts between the movie, his show Sons of Anarchy, and the Guillermo del Toro film Crimson Peak became too much to handle. Applegate admitted that she received the script for Legally Blonde just after finishing her show Married with Children, and she was worried Elle Woods was too similar of a role. "I got scared of kind of repeating myself," she told Entertainment Tonight, adding, "What a stupid move that was, right?" Blunt came very close to starring as one of the Avengers when she was cast in Iron Man 2 for Black Widow's first appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Instead, scheduling issues with the movie Gulliver's Travels led to her dropping out. Scream Queen star Emma Roberts was set to star as one of the main gals in Spring Breakers, alongside Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens. But she pulled out of the film, with director Harmony Korine chalking it up to creative differences. A different Emma was originally reported to star in the Oscar-nominated musical La La Land, but Watson was unable to take on the role due to her commitment to Beauty and the Beast. After confessing to Howard Stern in 2015 that she declined a part in Boogie Nights, Paltrow attempted to evade discussion of passing on the iconic role of Rose in Titanic. "My mother will kill me that I'm talking about turning down movie roles," Paltrow said. Jackman told Variety that when the search was on for a new James Bond to follow Pierce Brosnan in Casino Royale, a call came asking if he'd be interested. He wasn't. "I just felt at the time that the scripts had become so unbelievable and crazy, and I felt like they needed to become grittier and real," he said. After Tom Hardy dropped out of Suicide Squad owing to a packed schedule, Warner Bros. Reportedly sought out Gyllenhaal for the role of Rick Flag. Alas, he declined the part that eventually found its way to Joel Kinnaman. Jennifer Hudson said, "I just felt the character was doing things, at least in my script that I got, that were places I did not want to go, and not where I needed to go." The film's title role instead turned Gaburi Sidibe into an Oscar nominee and household name. Director Quentin Tarantino told Entertainment Weekly he met with Lawrence to discuss starring in his movie, The Hateful Eight, but it was to no avail. She had to do all this publicity on the Hunger Games movies. Jennifer Lee took the part instead and landed her first Oscar. Hart revealed he turned down the part of closeted rapper Al Pacino in Tropic Thunder because he didn't want to play a gay. "I can't. Not because I have any ill will or disrespect. It's because I don't think I'm really gonna dive into that role 100%, he said. Deadline reported that Leonardo DiCaprio had the inside track to play Alan Turing in what would become The Imitation Game. But a year later, Variety said he was no longer eyeing the lead. Cumberbatch eventually filled the mathematician's shoes and garnered an Oscar for his work. Todd Phillips telling The Hollywood Reporter, "Honestly, it felt like she ended up being too young for what we were talking about. People love to attack her for everything. She didn't turn it down. She loved the script, actually. It really was an age thing." Damon passed on the lead role in Avatar due to a scheduling conflict with The Bourne Ultimatum. Avatar went on to become the highest-grossing film worldwide of all time, leading Damon to joke to Access Hollywood. Clearly, my not participating cost the film a lot. In an interview with Playboy, McConaughey claimed to have turned down a big role in the Guardians of the Galaxy film in favor of the Stephen King adaptation The Dark Tower. "I like Guardians of the Galaxy. Now we've got room to make a colorful part for another big-name actor." Dr. Dre reportedly wanted Michael B. Jordan to play him in Straight Outta Compton, the NWA biopic. But Jordan accepted the role of the Human Torch in the ill-fated Fantastic Four reboot, making him unavailable. Early in the movie's development, Drew Barrymore was set to play Sydney, but she changed her mind and wanted to play Casey. A casting hunt led to an offer for Reese Witherspoon, who turned it down, paving the way for Party of Five star Neve Campbell to swoop in. Became a big negotiation for all my children to let Sarah Gellar out, Schroeder told Vanity Fair. It was just for a couple of weeks, and they absolutely stuck their feet in and wouldn't let her, and Gellar had no choice but to turn down the movie. In an interview, Gary Marsh revealed that Gomez was the original pick for the music-centric movie that starred Demi Lovato opposite Joe Jonas. She wasn't ready to explore that part of her talent yet, said Marsh. She wanted to build her acting base first. Smith turned down the lead role of Neo in The Matrix, which ultimately went to Keanu Reeves. In the pitch, I just didn't see it, he later explained to Wired. I watch Keanu's performance, and very rarely do I say this, but I would have messed it up. Zendaya was cast as the late R&B star in a Lifetime biopic, but after backlash ensued, pulled out of the TV movie. The main reasons were the production value wasn't there, there were complications with the music rights, and I just felt like it wasn't being handled delicately considering the situation. Halle Berry became the first African-American woman to win the Academy Award for Best Actress, thanks to her work as Letitia Musgrove in Monsters Ball. But it could have been Angela Bassett, who turned down the part. Shakespeare in Love received critical acclaim upon its release and won numerous awards, including 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actress Gwyneth Paltrow, and Best Original Screenplay. When it came time for Tim Burton to cast Batman, he didn't only look at the legendary Jack Nicholson for the role. John Lithgow told Vulture a story about his audition for the comic book villain in which I tried to persuade him I was not right for the part, and I succeeded. There is a world where Sir Ian McKellen doesn't play Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, and we're really just not okay with that. Apparently the role was supposed to go to Sean Connery. The film's made over $2.91 billion in total box office sales. Or at least director Robert Zemeckis didn't know who his main character would be, after John Travolta turned down the role of Forrest Gump in favor of Pulp Fiction. Tom Hanks stepped in so it all worked out. And we couldn't help but wonder if Sarah Jessica Parker would have wound up as Carrie Bradshaw if she hadn't turned down the dark role of Lydia in Beetlejuice. Instead, Winona Ryder played the role, and the Stranger Things actress has made a name for herself in sci-fi type projects ever since. There isn't a man who hasn't seen Patrick Bateman's Sigma. Leonardo DiCaprio was king of the world. He had already starred in the award-winning Titanic and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but he let the role in the cult classic American Psycho pass him by. Sandra Bullock tried to get the movie about a professional boxer made for years, but by the time it was greenlit, she was attached to Crash, so Hilary Swank starred in Million Dollar Baby instead, and won an Oscar for the role. Basic Instinct is Sharon Stone's most successful movie to date, and the actress has Michelle Pfeiffer to thank for passing on the thriller in the first place. Before the decision on Roberts was made, director Gary Marshall looked at a lot of young actresses. Jennifer Connelly was in the running as a top choice, but she ultimately withdrew her name because she felt she was too young for the part. We can't imagine anyone but Anne Hathaway playing the overwhelmed and fashion-challenged Andy Sachs in The Devil Wears Prada, but Rachel McAdams was considered before the young Princess Diaries star. Will Smith reportedly turned down the role of Django in the Oscar-nominated Django Unchained due to creative differences. The role ended up going to Jamie Foxx. Harrison Ford was already a household name in Hollywood when he got Star Wars, but it was still one of his biggest roles in his career, and it's all because Al Pacino passed on the role. Instead of Kevin Bacon, the movie Footloose could star Tom Cruise. The actor, who has already starred in Top Gun movies, was invited to take the role ahead of Bacon, but had trouble with his timeline as he was busy in all the right moves. The writer and director of Jerry Maguire, Cameron Crowe, revealed that he wrote the script with Tom Hanks in mind to play the lead, but when the movie was being cast, Hanks was directing That Thing You Do, so they went with another Tom. Because of Mad Men, we have Jon Hamm, and for that, we're eternally grateful. But in 2011, Hamm let it slip that another actor was considered but passed on the role of Don Draper. I think they went to Thomas Jane for it, and they were told that Thomas Jane does not do television. Mel Gibson was one of Hollywood's biggest hitters back in 2000, but the Braveheart star turned down the role of Maximus in Gladiator because of the rigor of the action scenes. Also, apparently he thought he was too old for the part. Thanks for watching, my friends. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.